Hello, my dears. I chopped all my hair off, and I hope you all like it. I really enjoy it. I think it fit my face a little bit better than long hair did, and also there's something about my long hair where I felt like I could hide behind it. Now that it's gone, I feel so much more open. So I think truly just for my own purposes of aesthetic as well as well-being, I chopped it off and I feel so much better. Like a literal and figurative weight off of my shoulders. So yeah, I hope y'all like it. According to my last video of where I read journal entries from when I was going through a time of a breakup, I've had some requests to dedicate a video specifically to journaling. In today's video, I will be talking about what I've noticed in the benefits of it and how I journal. I will never speak ill of journaling because I truly found that it was the main pivot of my life. I think there's more of like a connotation of how it's considered feminine. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me look up the definition. According to Merriam-Webster, journal, as a noun, is a record of experiences, ideas, or reflections kept regularly for private use. As a verb, it's to enter and record daily thoughts and experiences. No argument there. That's pretty straightforward, clear cut of what a journal is and how to do it. The benefits that I've noticed from when I started journaling to now is that it really helped me strengthen my inner voice. I don't think a lot of us know that we have many voices inside of us. There's the encourager, there's also the motivator, but I think with all of these inner voices, they're considered unnecessary if they're not logical. And living a life purely logical isn't necessarily living a full life. We are emotional creatures, we are social creatures, we are more than just our logical minds, we are our hearts and our souls. And I think growing up with using journaling as an assistance towards finding my soul was something that I can't recommend enough people to do. Before I go into more of the benefits of how much I love journaling and why, I'm going to talk about where you can get your journals. I started off getting my journals at craft stores such as Michael's or Hobby Lobby because they were more affordable in the sense that I would buy sketchbooks. One of my best friends told me that she only buys journals that are blank. She doesn't get any of like the lined or dotted ones because she found that those were limiting. And I didn't really understand what she meant by that, but I saw that sketchbooks were cheaper than lined journals, so I was like, okay, let me try it out. So I bought a blank sketchbook, and I'll never go back to lined journals again. It truly let me break outside of the lines and the organization. It took away the need to be organized and neat and tidy, because for a journal that is supposed to be kept private to yourself, it doesn't matter what it looks like. It doesn't matter what you talk about. It's just something that's purely for you. So I found that the lines were still somehow for someone else. If you find that you really need that system of organization in order to express yourself, then go for it. However, for me, I found that unlined journals were the way to go because then I got to write as large as I wanted to whenever I was feeling a sense of injustice, or write as small as I wanted to whenever I was feeling a sense of collection and calmness. And also, journaling isn't just a way of writing words down on a piece of paper. You can also express yourself in creative ways such as collaging or sketching or poetry. It really does just give you this blank surface for you to do whatever you want with however you feel. That's pretty hard to predict, therefore I really like looking back at my journals because as I'm writing, I have no idea where the pen is taking me. Speaking of pens, I am left-handed, so I do have that common left-handed issue of when writing, my hand smudges the ink. But for the pens that I use now, they're specifically Japanese Muji pens. They're very affordable, the ink is so smooth, and it doesn't feel scratchy when I'm using it. It feels extremely flawless from the thoughts that I have in my brain to the pen to the paper in my journal. Can't recommend these enough. This video isn't even sponsored by them. I just truly like Muji pens as well as blank journals. Anyways, tracking back, I believe that journaling isn't just words on a piece of paper. You can also get super creative with it. In another video that I did, I think exactly a year ago, I tried out 10 sketches and I had no idea how much emotion that I can also relay through a sketch or a drawing. I had no idea that was another way I could just not only have a conversation with my journal, but I can also show it, like, me and my journal could have a moment of me being proud of whatever I created. This is one of the drawings that I drew with a Muji pen. See, this was not planned at all. I always start off my drawings with a house, and then from there I just drew like a sidewalk, and the chimney turned into a slide, and then I made a pool, but it kind of looked like a tree trunk, so it just kind of went from there and on and on and on. It's just another place of where I can practice without any judgment, because this, once again, is a place for you. I think once you start writing or doing anything in your journal that is in the thought for someone else, it's no longer your journal anymore. You're allowed to have this one place of where you can find privacy and security in it. You can find no place of judgment in it or bias. But yeah, huge advocate for writing for yourself. Honestly, there are times of where I look left and right before I write down in my journal, because it's like, oh, I'm about to spill a little confession. I'm about to spill a little dirty secret, and oh, I forget that I can talk about this to my journal. There's sometimes where I write in my journal where I write to it with a level of personification, such as, thank you so much for being there with me throughout all of this. I do have friends that I can depend on, but sometimes before I go to them, I turn to this friend, and then I'm able to have a more collected summary to relay to my human walking friends. And yeah, it just helps me collect myself. It helps me collect my thoughts, because when they're like running about, writing in my journal feels like the dog that's herding the sheep. And then after all my sheep have been collected into one little spot, I can have a better way of how to present them. Journaling just really does help me take a step back and reflect from the day, an event, help process something, because I literally think out loud into my journal. You will see my thought process down the page, and by the end of it, it's like a math problem. By the end of it, it equals to something. It may take a couple pages, it may take a couple days, but it does help me evaluate myself and what I was journaling about. So keep practicing journaling, because if you've never journaled before, it seems a little bit unnecessary. I'm still new to journaling. I've only been journaling for 3 years. I started off with a very small notebook. It was blank, whatever pen was near me, and I would just write the date and say, I am here. I usually start off with where I am geographically, like I am here in this city, in this state, in this building, and this is what I'm doing. And usually from there, the pen just goes. If you're ever having a hard time starting a journal entry, just start with where you are. And it just kind of spreads into the story that is your life. You have the setting, the exposition. Now it's just whatever you want. There really is no right or wrong way of journaling. I'd say just start in general. I hope that it gives you the process to be good to yourself, because it really did help me start representing for myself. I didn't even know how to articulate my emotions or what thoughts were going through my head, because I hadn't had fully heard them in complete sentences. They have always been fragments in my mind. So to let these fragments keep spinning in circles always felt like I was accumulating so many little things in my head, and it felt so overwhelming until I got my journal and I turned these fragments into sentences and paragraphs and pages. Now here I am with having taken out the mental trash. Not that your thoughts are trash or garbage, it's just a routine thing to keep the housekeeping clean in your mind. But yes, I hope that I inspired at least one of y'all to buy a blank journal, get a pen, and just write whatever you want. Please let me know if this helps anyone in their journaling journey. I have to go now, but thank you so much, my romantics, and I can't wait to see y'all next week. I wish you a sweet treat and 8 hours of sleep. Thank you so much, my dears, and I'll see you next week. Bye, guys.